gamers, and welcome to episode 414 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for April 22nd, 2023. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on this week, Dominic?
All right, man. Not much really going on this week, man. A lot of I was going to write down to it. It's a lot of stuff happening in sports, really, because now you got two football leagues going at the same time, two spring leagues. One is near the end. They're going to the playoffs. Like, they're starting their playoffs next week, while the other one's just sort of beginning, and they begun last week, the USFL. So the champions won their first game. The guys who won the Alabama, Birmingham Stallions.
Mm-hmm.
And also the USFL, they're not just playing in Alabama. They were playing Alabama all last year. This is one location. Now they're kind of spread out. I know they're doing one in Memphis, Birmingham, Canton, Ohio. That's the only ones I can remember right now. That might be all of them, but I'm not sure. I thought there might be another location. But yeah, they spread out more, but they're still not in the hometowns of where some teams are. Like Philly's playing in Canton, Ohio. So not in Philly. So I guess maybe next year or whatever, they're working towards that to try to get that done. But hopefully it still works well enough this year that they can continue to next year. Like, I'm curious too, at the end of the XFL, how well it did, like how well it does for them to go to next year with the XFL. My team in the XFL is the Defenders, and they were already in, and now I think they're going to have, well, technically, I don't know if there's going to be a home field advantage because after the playoffs is in a location. So I don't know if it's like a playoff game in DC. I forget how they're going to do that. So I don't think that really matters. So this last game, I might check it out, but I don't know if they're going to be playing anybody. Well, at least like the top guys. They're probably getting limited time just to save them up for the big games. So that's the football. That's spring football for you. What else we got here? We got baseball. So baseball's been going on. Orioles been kicking butt. I think they won. What they won? 4 in a row. I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4. I know they definitely won 4 in a row. They swept Washington. They won last night, as of this podcast, against Detroit. I mean, they're not the great teams, but hey, man, that's what you're supposed to do. If you're a good team, you're supposed to beat the bad teams. And this is what I can say. What this season, the Orioles have done that. Like, the teams they lost to the first two to they won the first game. They lost 2 to Boston, and Boston's they got players. Like, I don't know if Boston's going to do anything big this year, but they do have stars on that team. They're just not as good as the other top teams in the East. They lost 2 to the Yankees. The Yankees, I mean, come on, they were just a series away from the World Series. Then you have 1 round away, and then who else did they play? Well, I think that was it. Those were only 2 series they lost, and they won the other series. So I think they're 12-7. I mean, they're looking all right now. Their pitching before was they needed to work on. Now the pitching has been pretty good, even though they're playing against teams that are not that good. So that's why it's kind of hard to juggle. Like, are we still okay? Like, are we still good or what? But anyway, whatever. I know our bats haven't been all that great lately, but we've been coming through with wins. They've been clutch. Like, at clutch moments, we had somebody come through the win. We had a few walk-offs and things of that nature. So, yeah, the O's, man, it's been fun to watch them. Like, I've been having a good time watching these games and watching some other games too. I've been watching Trey Mancini, former Oriole. He's on the Cubs, and the Cubs are doing pretty well. I know Mancini hit a home run yesterday. I know he got another base hit too. Got some RBIs.
Nice. So
yeah, he's doing pretty good, and the Cubs overall team is doing pretty good. So yeah, I'm liking this. I'm loving this baseball season, man. So far. I know hockey's going to playoffs, but I know nothing what's going on there because my Capitals have been out. So, and NBA has been going through playoffs. And that, like I said, the teams I think is going to go to the championship is between Boston and Milwaukee for the East. West, I have no idea. Now, I'm going to say It's not going to be the Clippers because if Kawhi Leonard's not playing, they're not going to win. Even though they did almost win the last game without him, but it's not going to last. They're playing against Phoenix. I think Phoenix is going to go to the next round. I don't know about the Lakers and Memphis Grizzlies. Now, if Morant is not playing, Lakers definitely going to win. But Lakers might still win even with Morant. We'll see. But Anthony Davis, it's really up to him. If he plays a great game or does very well, he does well, they'll win. Because but they keep relying on LeBron to keep coming out and putting up big numbers. That's not. I don't think that's going to last. He's great. Ron is still playing great for his age, but for the playoffs, he's going to need that help. There's nobody who doesn't need help, but Anthony Davis was supposed to be the guy, the scorer at least. LeBron could be still the facilitator as far as getting the assists. He's still getting some points, but Anthony Davis is supposed to be dominant. And then at one point, Anthony Davis, it was the second game, and when they lost. And it makes sense that they lost because it was like they had no big man. They don't have no Morant, and they had no Adams. So it's like, okay, Lakers are going to go up 2-0. No, Memphis won, and Anthony Davis only had 13 points, and he played the whole game. He had 37 minutes. It's like, dude, what is going on? What is up with AD? I don't know, man. It sucks because this man was predicted to be one of the next Tim Duncans. Now, like somebody said, don't mention Tim Duncan's name with this dude again because this is not it. All right, but actually, he's supposed to be better than Tim Duncan, really, because he's more agile than Tim Duncan and everything. So it's gonna be this is gonna be the next level Tim Duncan or something. But nah, he's not even that. All right, he's not even just Tim Duncan. So, anything else happening? I haven't been paying attention to Piles Across. I know it's getting close to that playoffs. I need to check it. Probably need to check it out today. In sports, nothing else. I know NFL. It's a whole lot of talk, stuff I don't care about. And I've never been a big draft guy. I'm a guy who likes to see the results. You pick the guy. Hopefully that guy turns out to be great. And then if a guy that we could have got turned out to be great, then I'll be mad at you. Say, you could have picked him, even though I didn't know he was going to be great. But still, you had a chance, and now he got lower picked, and they got the good guy. But yeah, nothing else. So how about wrestling? Anything happen big in wrestling?
Nothing really worth talking about this week, I think.
What about the match you went to see? The Japanese song?
Oh yeah, I kind of forgot about that. Yeah, I did go and see the New Japan Strong show down in DC last weekend on Saturday, and that was a lot of fun. It was one of those things.
The Atomic Showdown. That's what it's called, right?
What's that?
The Atomic Showdown.
No,
that's what it's called.
No. It was
Capital
Collision, I think is the name that they have for it.
Capital One Collision.
Capital One Collision at the not Capital One Center. No, it was at the WNBA arena, the Sports and Entertainment Arena or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically when they first announced it, they didn't have many matches on there. I just went or got tickets because I was I want to see, some of the people from New Japan that I hope will be there. And by the time the day came, the card had filled out a lot, but it was still kind of these matches should be entertaining, and I'll get to see some of the guys that I wouldn't necessarily get to see otherwise. But I don't really expect much match wise. But there ended up being 3 or 4 matches on that card that were fantastic, and then everything else was really good too. So it was a good time. I had a lot of fun. Getting back home out of DC was kind of a pain in the ass because traffic somehow at midnight was still bad, but that's Northern Virginia and DC and Maryland for you. So yeah, that is a show that was recorded. So if anybody's interested in checking it out, I believe it's on New Japan World, their streaming service, Capital Collision 2023. So yeah, it's good times.
Okay, cool. All right. So now we're going to what we've been watching. So I guess I only would have been watching something. So I got some old movies out. Movies I thought one movie I thought I seen, and which you did correct me on a few weeks ago because I had mentioned something. Black Hawk Down, because I think it was some, I don't know what we were talking about, but I said something about Ice Cube. And thing is, I was talking about Three Kings, apparently. Like that movie, that war movie, but the gold and
with
shit,
George
whatever
Clooney it was. And somebody else, right?
I got that confused with Black Hawk Down. And I've been getting that confused for years, apparently, because I thought I seen Black Hawk Down. And so then, because I was like, I'm going to watch Black Hawk Down. And then I went in there and it's like, I don't see Ice Cube. And then I looked up and I said, oh shit, this is the wrong movie. And I was like, okay, I've never seen it before. And then I watched this. Oh my God, this is really good. I mean, everybody was right. And I thought I saw it. And I was and then I was confused. I was like, you know what? Everybody can say it was really good. And like how I won, and it like, oh, it was nominated for awards and won awards. And I always got confused because I was like, I didn't think it was that good. I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, Three Kings was okay. But it wasn't. But yes, Black Hawk Down. Yes, that is definitely a good movie. I mean, like after Saving Private Ryan, like seeing a war movie like that, I would say like between them two are probably some of the best war movies out there. As far as just you really seeing like feeling like the brutality of war and things of that nature. But yeah, and plus seeing it now and I watched it through the Oculus and looking at it a better picture than originally it was anyway. Definitely not. Yeah, it's not going to look as well. My eyes not going to tell. Like from the Oculus, like I can tell if something doesn't look good. Like if I can see some type of denigration. Like you can see something. Like it's like I can't really explain it. It's almost like a pixelation, but it's not. You can tell like, oh, this is not good quality, but it's better than a bootleg, but it's not as good as a Blu-ray. Watching this through the Oculus, whatever they use, I couldn't tell. Like it looks good. It looked really good, and the format was good, and the sound was great, especially when I had my headphones on. Like man, it's just like, man, just going through that, like going through war, like you gotta, like your focus is on like the mission survival, or I mean, if hopefully you're that guy who helping the next man, you know, help you and like keeping like, and that's what they always say, like don't leave nobody behind, even when like they keep saying we gotta go back and get those guys, and if you think about if you're a person without any, like you would just think of logically, like just like pure logic. No emotion or whatever, you would just say, okay, 4 guys are down there. Is it worth me putting more men in there to die to get them out?
Right.
You would say no. But if you're those guys, thank God you don't think that way. But it does kind of suck because some people die going back for them, and they start dying. It's really sucks, but they have that thing, you don't leave no man behind. I get that was a rule. Yeah. And like if you get them out, get them. Like it has to be near to impossibility. Even though some will probably argue that was near to impossible, but they did. They did get some of them out. Yeah. Here's the thing, Daniel. They did get them out. Even they were dead, but they got them out. So that was the thing. Because I think like a guy even said, like, hey, this guy's dead. He said like, hey, I already told you, no man left behind. So it's like, oh. So you're just gonna give like half a body, I guess. So say fuck it. But yeah, that movie, it was good, man. And then they said at the end like how many soldiers died. I think they said like between 15 or 19. I forget what it was. I know it was less than 20. Died, which you think like grand scheme of things, like oh that darn, as much as the shit they went through, 15, 19 died. I mean that's bad, but it's not that bad compared to when I saw 6,000 Somalians died. And I'm like, oh, but it's not a win because you didn't get the guy you were supposed to get at the time.
Right.
Like you was going for one guy and then it's because to be this, like, was it worth it for this one guy? And then was it worth it at all? Because I mean, these skirmishes, like I'm not gonna pretend I understand them. I don't. But I always wanted to know is like, you take this guy out of power. What does that mean? Like, what happens now?
Yeah.
And like, I mean, like the guy, I think a guy who had captured one of the soldiers, who they said later on was left free later on, but he was telling the guy saying, "You think killing him is going to stop the killing?" It's like it's not going to stop. Because look, you got all those people just fighting and shooting, and you don't even see the leader. It's like these people, somebody else is just going to take his place.
Yeah.
It never, does it ever stop? That's all. Does it ever stop in these places? It'd be specific places, because it's different places. I don't want to get places used. Like, does it ever stop? And like, you stopping this guy, like, if you're not helping stabilize the area, then what are we doing? And was it just political reasons for this? Like, what was this? Does this what it all come down to? And now, as a soldier, you can't think that way. Like, you don't think about the bigger picture. You think about your own freaking mission and helping and staying alive and helping the guy next to you stay alive. Like, that's all you can focus on. But like, people with a broader picture, it's like, darn, man, you see these guys in here, and this is this place still shit? Like, this specific, I haven't looked it up. Like, I'm just going to put my guess is not the best. I mean, hell, I heard about other places in Somalia. I mean, this is only a specific location. So, but I'm just saying, it doesn't sound like it's it's like, oh, it's great over there. Yeah. So, it just makes like these little wars, like these wars, like when I read history books, like about this war, they took the land, they got land. I say, okay, right or wrong, I see what it accomplished though. Like, I could see what was won and what was lost. Like, I said, okay, they were fighting for this and they got this, and like there was a reason, and the reason could be right or wrong, but you got it. Like, these wars now, I don't know what the hell it is. Like, I don't know what what is winning. Like, what is winning? It's like what is the point where it's like, oh, we won? I don't know what it is. I don't know what it looks like. It's and that's the problem with this. Like, I think, like, when people talk like Vietnam and stuff, like I think that's what it's like. What the hell we do? What are we fighting? Like, what are we fighting for? Like, what's the goal here? I mean, yeah, I'm always gonna root for our side, but what I'm rooting for, I'm just basically rooting for us to survive, for people to come back alive. That's the only thing I'm rooting for. Then at that point, it's like, well, I guess they'll still be alive. They just didn't go, right? Mm-hmm. It's just, like, I don't know what's like winning or losing with this. So yeah, but that was a good movie. That was a dang good movie. Have you seen it?
I don't think I have, actually.
My God, Daniel,
I know of it
too.
because, like you said, it was nominated for all those awards and everything, and also, like, you always hear about like all these different actors who were in the movie that you're like surprised by, you know.
Oh yeah, about those actors, Daniel, especially the ones that weren't American. Was that considered good American accents at the time?
Oh, because that's a good question.
Because I watching them, I was assuming that some of these people were like, oh, they must be like the people from Britain or something, and that came to help the Americans. Yeah. But I don't think that was a thing with that. Yeah. And I think they were supposed to be from America. And I was like, I can hear Orlando Bloom. He sounds like he's whatever the hell he's from. Yeah. He don't sound like he's from America. But then again, maybe that's why he don't have that many lines. And honestly, I don't know if he lived. Because at some point, I think some people, when they have too much of that dirt stuff on them, I couldn't tell some of the guys.
Which so guy I was like, which?
Yeah, I could tell Ewan McGregor. I could tell Eric Bana. Even Eric Banner. It didn't sound like a great American accent either. Yeah.
I feel like other movies Eric Bana's not had a great accent in.
I mean, he was good, but if you're supposed to make me believe he was American, I think I was like, sound weird. Now, if I never had known who he was, I think I wouldn't know something was up. I just want to know what it was. So I was like, this accent sounds weird. Where are he from? like what part of the country is this from? Where is this from?
Is this what the Midwest sounds like?
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? And even McGregor, I think he was a little bit better than them, though.
Yeah.
I would say he's better than them. But maybe because I just know him so much that I'm just like, I don't know. It was just like, oh. But yeah, the guys, it was a lot of foreign, there's quite a few foreign guys. I was like, hey man, I can hear their normal accents within their supposed American one.
Yeah.
And there's always this one actor who, I don't know his name, but you would know his face. Because he's in everything doing with the military. He's in every freaking thing.
I'm thinking it's got to be Tom Sizemore.
Not him.
Not,
but I know who he
okay.
is. Not him.
All right,
he's in a lot of things too, but it's not him. This guy, and he still looks the same. I mean, when I say everything, I mean like not just realistic military stuff. Even when they talk about Transformers, when I saw his face in Transformers, I was like, Jesus Christ. They know this guy. He's just a military guy. And then I looked up and said, oh.
Oh, you're not talking about like the dude from Full Metal Jacket, are you? The one that's like Lee Army or something like that? The guy that's always yelling at people like,
Lee Majors? No, not him, no.
Is it Lee Majors? Is that... I don't know. I'd have to... No, not Lee Majors. Lee... I think his name's Lee Army. Lee Army. Ermy. Not Army. ERME. But I don't think he's in that. So
he doesn't yell. The guy I know doesn't yell.
Yeah, I don't know which guy then.
Not Army Hammer. Sorry. But no, yeah, this guy doesn't yell. I know he was in 24 also.
Okay.
He played the president's what's it called? The bodyguard for the president.
Oh, Secret Service.
Secret Service, yeah.
Okay.
He was in there. Like he just always doing something military.
Maybe it's him. I feel like he's relatively young enough. Is he in 24? 24.
How did it become a secret guard in the service? What the fuck?
Look up Jason Isaacs.
Aaron Pierce. Well,
okay, what's
he was
his name?
Aaron Pierce in the show, but his real name is Glenn Morsauer. Glenn Morsauer. That's his real name.
Okay. Yeah, he's not in the top of this list here. Glenn Moore.
But he's always in like some type of military. He's a military character in a lot of fucking movies. And my computer flows for some reason. Yeah, he plays everything, man. Like everything. He's always military. And yeah, that's right. I seen him on Star Trek. So goddamn, that's right. I do remember he was on Next Generation. Yeah, because I was like, hey, that looks like that guy from that military guy, 24. And then I looked up and said, oh my god, that's a younger him. I wonder was that right when he left the military or something. Let me see his history.
Join the space military.
He's Jewish and blah blah blah. Why they tell me his back Jewish? They can't tell me more on Wikipedia. They must have got redacted or something. Or they can't give me like more information.
What operations did he serve in?
Okay. Darn, I wish they told me where that quote was on this page. I ain't trying to look at all this IUD. Never mind then. But yeah, he's
really
done
had
a
this
lot
man
of shit.
just use his last name in the Transformers movie.
Oh yeah, that's what he said. The quotes. That's a quote. This is a quote from him. The only people who have done more military roles than me, what they all have in common, they are all dead. Damn.
Rough.
That's pretty fucked up. I thought it was gonna be something funny. The actor, he has played in a role of no less than 53 different law enforcement / military personnel, 22 police / law enforcement officers, 21 military personnel, and 10 government agents. Recently, he has played the role of quite a few Secret Service agents. He started his acting career in 1975 with the leading role in the movie Drive-In in 1976.
They should have had him be Agent Smith.
Motivational speaker. His program, The Extra Mile, teaches people how to embrace and express the fullness of their light. Oh, so he was never in it. Maybe he never in the military. I thought I heard that he was. During his childhood.
No, he's just stolen valor, Dominic.
His curve graduated from Oughta Common. He is both guests on CSI. They both current roles. Darn, but how he just get that military? Like, why he always get to play law enforcement?
Because he looks very much like a thumb, which is an attribute to cops.
He frequently works on Michael Bay films, so Michael Bay must always look for him. So that's why you say, "Oh, doing one." He was in The West Wing. He got the third. This man, yo, good for him.
You gotta find your niche and fucking stick with it, Dominic.
Yeah.
You don't need to be George Clooney.
Damn, he's actually younger than my mom and dad. Though at the time he looked older than them. When I first saw him, I thought this was like an old man. All right. So where I'm at here now. So okay. I also watched Blade Runner again, and this time I watched the final cut version. Okay. The last time I had watched, which I thought was the final cut version, I thought that was the version he had attended. But then when I saw this version, I was like, I don't remember this part. And at the end, did you see Blade Runner?
Yes. I don't remember which versions I have or have not seen.
The one where, this one was when he picked up the origami of the unicorn, and then he walked into the elevator.
Okay.
With the woman. The one I saw was when the guy died and it went off at the roof when he killed the replicant. So yes, this is one with like no really few narration too, because that's like he didn't want that. And
okay, definitely I remember there being something about like something at the end being said where it's like, oh, they're ruining the like ambiguity of it.
All right, my fault. Yeah. So it was. I mean, it was good. It was good. And I'm gonna be honest with you though. Even though the narration, people didn't like it, it did help me. It did help me. So I mean, watching this one, I mean, I remembered it, but I was like, if I had watched it without the narration, I mean, I wouldn't have liked it as much. I think I just would have been like, oh, it's all right movie. I mean, it's all right. Even though I think the whole falling in love with the woman replicant, I think it was a little too fast because it just didn't make sense. Because he said like, I love you. It's like, God damn, all you did was fuck her. I mean, darn, now you're the type of dude that probably have a stripper get on top of you, be like, oh man, I have to be with you forever. But yeah, but now because I'm gonna watch the second one too again because I haven't watched that in a while, and I did like that one. But seeing that, yeah, and the Oculus too, that was really good. That was pretty good too. Yeah, nice. I enjoyed that. Also, I watched Cocaine Bear. That movie that came out like a month ago. It's on Peacock.
Yeah. And
put it on, and it was it was fun. It was fun. I mean, it's a great movie, no, but it's not has some like the scary stuff in the movie is like jump scare stuff. So it's really just like a fun movie about a bear who really wants cocaine. Like like he just like she only goes after really people if they smell like they got cocaine on them or if they got a red bag that looks like that because that's where the cocaine came in when it fell off the plane. So she sees a red bag. She thinks like, "Oh, it's cocaine. Must be cocaine."
So the bear got a taste of the cocaine, and now she wants more. Is the story? Oh, okay.
And she fed it to her cubs, and now they're all hooked on cocaine. She got crack. Is
that the sequel?
She got crack. That may be because they did. Oh, I'm spoiling it, but oh well. I'm sorry.
They did kill the bear.
They do live. They all live at the end. The bears.
Oh, well, all of them. Wow. I thought maybe just
because
the kids.
I think they're gonna run out at some point, and I'm like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen with the bears when they get all they got to withdrawal? They go cold turkey. Yeah, the withdrawal is going to be horrible for them.
Get the Coke shakes.
Yeah, the bears going to start coming to the towns now, and they're going after the drug dealers. Why are these drug dealers all dead with these big bear claws?
Cocaine bear comes to the city.
Yeah. It was like the cocaine bear is attacking the cartels and stuff like that.
It's going to go in the same path as Fast and the Furious.
All right, yeah, it's going to end. Yeah, they're going to have like, and it's going to be a 3-parter, and the 3-part is going to be like Scarface, like the cocaine bear owns it, but she does too much of her own supply, or like maybe the Cubs take over and they do too much on their own supply or something, and then they just go out firing their guns or something. All right. And last but not least, I watched some Perry Mason. The new Perry Mason, which is on HBO, second season. I have caught up. Unfortunately, I thought I was done. It was done, so I was like, okay, I'll go watch all of them. And then I watched the last one. I was like, this can't be how it ends. And then it said, yeah, it comes new on Mondays. I was like, oh my God, I caught up. I said, I didn't think I was going to catch up to it. And I was like, damn it. So now I have to wait. I have to wait till a new episode. And it was good. It's good so far. It's pretty good. I don't really like all the love stuff in it, like with Della and her, well, now her girlfriend. I mean, I don't care about her having a girlfriend. Well, first of all, I am sort of mad because the girl she was with the first season, she's not with her anymore. They broke, and she kind of she didn't really break up with her. She kind of just cheated on her, and then they broke up. I thought that was horrible. But I like that girl because she was the girl from Last Man Standing, the middle daughter, and I liked her. And I was like, oh man, I don't want this other lady. She old. Well, she's older, but I was like, oh man, I don't want her. So I was that's also a personal thing, but still, the love stuff was just. I mean, I'm just not big. I was like, kind of give it back to the case because that's the fun stuff. I was like, I don't really care about like her happiness and shit like that. Come on, man, it's like this is get to the murder case. But other than that, yeah, it's fine. Oh, and with him, he's found somebody, and I'm like, let's just move it along. Let's move it along, you know. Let's get to the court case. So this ain't the old Perry Mason. They ain't have no love interest. They just worked. It was always like maybe Della and him did something, but even though, yeah, I mean those things back then they just focused on the case, which is like, yeah, it wasn't really like, you know, it's not real realistic. I mean, it's not realistic at all. The whole Perry Mason, honestly. I mean, if you really say it, I mean, like first of all, like there was literally no black people. I'm not saying he would defend them, but darn, I would think like it had to be at least a murder or something that happened where like it had to be somebody involved. I mean, just involved with a case that it had to crush somebody.
Careful what you ask for, Dominic. It'll just all be suspects.
Well, I mean, if you want to be real, yeah. But that's why I always find it funny with like current like crime stuff. I'm like, there's sure a lot of cases with like the city. It's like I have a feeling there'll be more like black cases, wouldn't there? I mean, let's be honest, because based on the statistics, I mean, if you're being real. But anyway, yeah, But no, this new one I liked. I like the season. Do I like it better than the first season? I don't know. I think I just liked it the same. I like it the same. I am curious though, like if Robert Downey Jr. did play him, how would it be? I like this guy.
What it was supposed to be?
Yeah, I mean, he's a producer. He's just a producer though now.
Okay.
But he was, yeah, it was him, and I don't know what happened for him not to play. I don't know if it was just the schedule issue or what.
He
Then
was
they said
working
he
on
can't
Iron
produce it.
Man.
And I was like, man, no, he was doing Doctor Doolittle.
Jeez, yeah.
Did you see Doctor Doolittle?
I did at one point.
Did you like it?
It was fine, I guess.
It was fine. Oh,
It was
I mean, the
fine.
people saying it was horrible, so
It
wasn't horrible.
It was fine.
Was it better than Eddie Murphy's Doctor Doolittle?
I have not seen Eddie Murphy's Dr. Doolittle in a very long time, but I'm going to say probably not as good as that.
Oh, at least the first one.
The first one was pretty
good.
good, if I recall.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, that's it. So I guess we get to what we're playing. So I guess you can start it off. What you been playing?
Yeah, so I've just been playing some of this Street Fighter 5 demo that has come out, or 6, yes, thank you. 6 Street Fighter 6 demo that's come out during their little showcase they had the other day. They announced that there's a demo available on the PS4 and PS5, and as of next week, it will also be available on Steam and the Xbox as well. There's not a whole lot open in this as far as
So
like,
this game is on the PS4? Oh,
Yeah.
I guess I could have played it, but I wasn't. Nah. I was better for you because I have to hook my PlayStation up. But this is going to be on last gen.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep. Gotta get that money everywhere, Dominic. So
How do the fans feel about that?
I'm sure they're fine with it as long as it, runs at a smooth frame rate.
Yeah.
It looks good. I feel like there was a little bit of like frame rate weirdness, mostly during the single player stuff, kind of in the open world area, but you basically have the world tour stuff, and then you have a little bit of arcade stuff. The arcade stuff, you can choose between 2 levels, which is like the blank training area, and then I forget what the other place is. And you have Luke, who is kind of the new character they've been showing off as the main guy, and Ryu, Old Man Ryu. Those are the 2 characters you can play as.
Oh, they make him actually older?
Yeah, he just looks more grizzled. He looks like hot dead Ryu that everybody was fawning over from 5, basically. He's got the beard.
Okay.
Yeah, he looks a little more grizzled. So that's kind of the arcade mode. The meat of this demo is definitely the world tour stuff. And in that mode, you basically create your own character, and there is like an insane amount of customization between like the just the way your character looks. You can change the way they sound. They've got different voices. They've even got like, different, I know how to word it. Not like different genders, but like different, I guess like, yeah, I'm just blanking on how to say it. No, I mean, there's definitely different races, but like I can present as a man and then like be more feminine. They give me that option. So
I see some games do that too.
Yeah.
I forgot what game it was though. It probably wasn't that good. But it did do that.
I know in like Harry Potter they let you change your voice and stuff, but this like, and it's very like generalized, like, oh, if you're feminine, you stand with your hand on your hip kind of thing. But it was interesting that they let you kind of do that stuff. But yeah, like as far as like customization, like body size, shape, face size, shape, color, everything is customizable to the point where like you can probably come up with some really interesting customized characters that if you just show me a video of like, here's the Street Fighter characters and here's some custom characters mixed together, I probably couldn't tell you which ones are just like new Street Fighter characters.
Oh yeah.
Which ones
that's pretty good then. I like that.
I mean, they look
can you
kind of...
Can you upload them?
Yeah. So they do this thing, and I don't know if you can like share them between games, but they have like a character sheet basically. So it's just like this one screen display of like all of the numbers that equal the character that you created. So it's like eyes are 52 and ears are
Okay.
79.
I
And
mean, oh yeah. Oh, that's that. I mean, that's cool.
yeah,
That
so if you can
do that
share
too. I mean,
that, and then someone can
you can actually
recreate
share
that character.
Oh, cool. Because I used to have to, somebody would have to just post it, and then you just. I remember the old days of creating like characters, mostly for sports,
Yeah,
and then I'll
exactly.
look at how they made them look, and I'll like, okay, if I do this, I gotta look at a paper and like someone on a computer or something, and then
It very much
in.
feels like that. I don't know if they have anything more technologically advanced in
yeah.
there.
Well, I kind
which
of
would
just
be
want them to
nice.
just upload it. Like, you
Yeah.
just upload the character, I can just have it. Shit.
Exactly. Yeah, so that stuff, and there is definitely some like kind of wonkiness looking to the characters, but I kind of feel like that's the case with all of the models in this game. Like they all are like weirdly thick in a way, and
It seems like they've been going for that though, man.
They have
for
been.
The,
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
It's definitely an aesthetic choice that they've gone for, and they all look very like slick. They're kind of plasticky almost, but not in like a Dead or Alive way. Like they definitely have some skin texture to them, but they're definitely like heightened exaggeration, right? It's definitely not like they're looking to be like more and more realistic, which I think is smart. So once you create your character, you're basically introduced to Luke, who is going to be your trainer in the World Tour mode, and then he kind of runs you through. This is
Where's
how you
Luke
punch
from?
this. What's that?
is he American, Luke?
I think so.
Okay.
He seems very like kind of generic American guy. Everything kind of has like this street vibe aesthetic. It's, graffiti and kind of stuff like that. Even the world is kind of like streetwear, that kind of stuff. Now, you kind of immediately meet your rival, who it seems like is probably going to go on throughout the story with you. And then you get dropped into this open world where you can basically just go up to a good majority of the characters in the world and just be like, okay, I'm pressing square and I'm going to fight you, which is pretty amusing because it's all these characters that I assume are made basically through the same kind of similar character creation system. So they all kind of look like these just kind of weird generated characters, and you just like, all right, I'm gonna fight you. Some of them you can talk to beforehand and afterwards, some of them you can just fight. And they all have levels. You have a level, and as you beat more characters, you level up. You can unlock different moves. You can unlock more vitality, which is your health meter, stuff like that. The single player stuff between playing this demo and what they showed at the showcase, it seems like it's going to be pretty in depth, which is a big a big upgrade from Street Fighter V, which basically came out without like even an arcade mode or something, didn't it? So that's really cool that they're having all this stuff in there. There's some just wild stuff they showed in the showcase mode where like Cammy is going to beat up trucks and you go to a different region and you're having to fight refrigerators or something. Just definitely some wackiness in there. Gameplay wise, it's a Street Fighter game. I am definitely more of a Mortal Kombat guy. Doing the training, I originally picked like the traditional control scheme because I'm familiar with like half circles and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, I'll try this out. But like some of that stuff just does not feel intuitive. And in the World Tour mode, it seems like they're trying to push this modern control scheme where basically you have one heavy, one light, one medium attack, and then you have a button specifically for special moves. And then depending on like what direction you're pushing while you press the special moves button, it'll do like a different special attack. So like I can throw a Hadouken if I press back in special or forward in special, something like that, right? So if they're really trying to move in that direction of like accessibility and growing the player base, I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Because, like, really, what's the difference? And I'm sure someone who is more well-versed in fighting games could tell me the difference. But, like, what's the difference between a high kick and a high punch, you know? Or a light kick and a light punch, you know? I'm sure, like, that changes your hitbox or something because you're now raising your leg instead of stretching out your arm or something. But in the grand scheme of things, it feels like they would be better off balancing in a different way. Yeah, so there's a pretty decent amount of stuff to do in this demo as far as that. I did reach the end of it. Basically, once you kind of complete the first open world area, they say, hey, you know, let's maybe buy the full game and kick you back to the main menu. But I think you can go back in there. I don't know if you just have to start another world tour or not. But it seems really cool. From what they showed in the showcase stuff, like, there's a lot of stuff. Like, I'll just kind of roll that into this real quick instead of saving it for the news. But, like, there's accessibility stuff in there where, like, the sound is different. Like, it makes kind of like clicking noises, and the closer to the character your opponent you are, like, the louder it is or something like that. So it's giving you audio cues as far as that stuff goes too. I think that just adding that kind of stuff is really neat. The training modes that they showed off in that seem very in depth. You know, Mortal Kombat has done a good job in adding a lot of that stuff and kind of making these games a little more accessible, even though you're still trying to develop a very specific set of skills with like a very specific set of knowledge, because you have to know like timing cues and hitboxes and you know, stuff like that. But they're really trying to like make that more accessible to more people. They've got the announcers in there now who are basically like commentating your matches as if it's like a fighting game tournament. And they'll, you know, throw clues out there for you like, oh man, if he does this, he can punish that block or something like that. You know, words that you hear when you're watching those types of things. And you can also turn that off, of course. The only thing that would concern me is like with the amount of customization and like leveling stuff, taking your character online, how do they balance that? Like, I can't imagine when they're actually doing like real Capcom Cup fighting tournaments that they would actually allow for any of your like custom characters to be used. I would imagine it's still just going to be your core Street Fighters. Or maybe it's just a matter of, because your fighters are basically going to be adapting a style of one of those Street Fighters or a combination of those Street Fighters, that they can still figure out a way to balance it enough that they feel like it's fair. But yeah, that game seems like it's got a lot going for it. I don't know if it's something that I'm particularly looking forward to, just because at the end of the day, the gameplay is still Street Fighter. And like I said, you know, I'm more of a Mortal Kombat guy. It feels easier. Doesn't feel like as much, like I need to know as much to be good at that game. But it seems like they put in a lot of work on this, and that's really cool. Just to kind of wrap up the stuff from the showcase, they did also announce, you know, DLC. They're going to do a season pass with 4 characters. And those are, I lost my window, but there it is. Rashid, who was in Street Fighter V. Aki, seems like she might be a robot kind of lady. She's coming in autumn 2023. Ed, not sure where he's from, winter 2024. And then Akuma is going to be coming in the spring of next year. So they've got plans for this. That's a damn fucking shame. What, that Akuma's going to be pushed out that far?
That Akuma's a DLC.
Yeah. I mean, like I think they have a lot of the, you know, standard fan favorites in there kind of already. So, you know, they were, of course, going to save somebody like that for this kind of thing.
Akuma, I mean, I don't know, man. Yeah, whatever.
It's a boss character, man. You gotta get that extra money out of there, Dominic. Yeah, but that seems pretty all right. So
yeah, man, I'm looking at this. What's this called again? The mode, single player mode.
World Tour.
World Tour, yeah, man. That's this is insane. Like, it looks good. I mean, this looks good. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm excited. I wish it was. I wish Game Pass could get it. I swear. Or at least, you know what? I would buy it if I know I can play it streaming.
Yeah.
Without having to get NVIDIA, because I have to pay monthly for that. But if it was streaming on, if I could just stream it, man, like I buy the game and I stream it, I probably would. But I don't know. I probably just have to wait. I'll probably just have to wait till I get these new systems and it's on. Like when they have like Street Fighter Championship Edition, and I can get the DLC. That first batch of DLC free, and then this could be another batch. Mm-hmm. This game is going to go for this whole generation, probably like 5.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess I get to where I've been playing. So, some more Persona 3. So I went ahead and said, I might as well just complete it. So I'm close to the end. I'm close. I think I have like a month to go.
Okay.
A month game time to go. So, yeah, I'm getting there. Also, I played some Ghostbusters, the newest one, the one I played before, the multiplayer one, because it was free for Xbox. Mm-hmm. I forgot the subtitle for that one, but
Spirits something Unleashed.
Spirits Within.
I was gonna say Spirits Within, but
I know it was Unleashed. It's coming out.
Spirits
so
Unleashed.
Like so I played some of that. I played quite a few multiplayer matches with people. I think I played like 3 or 4 of them, and it was fun playing with them. A few we lost. Most of the time, I never played a ghost. I never played as a ghost. I was always a Ghostbuster. I played some with the computer too, because the first time I tried it, I had to play with bots because there wasn't nobody. I guess not enough people was online, and I played. So I played with some bots, and the bots it was kind of hard because we weren't really working together. And I was like, did they follow me? But it looks like they weren't. So I was like, so it's not really that fun to play with bots. But yeah, I mean that game, it's fun. I think it's a fun game. I don't know what's worth paying for it because it is just a multiplayer only game. Even though you can play with bots, but it's not that fun to play with bots. I did play with bots as a ghost. I did just to test it out a bit, and playing a ghost it's fun doing that stuff too. I'm kind of getting into it. But playing at the Xbox, I'm sure it's probably better on a higher end PC and the new consoles. There's a lot of pop-ups, at least with the cutscenes. As playing a game, I mean, the game doesn't look that great. It's not really straining no hardware or anything. I mean, honestly, it should run better on the Xbox. Honestly, I just think it doesn't probably optimize it really, and that's really the thing. Because looking at the game, it's like this game looks like it could be an Xbox 360 game, honestly. So I don't know what the hell's going on here, but it plays. I do like the teamwork of you going after the ghost, like doing the tethers, and somebody throw out the during capture, to capture the ghosts, and I mean that's cool. I mean that's pretty cool. Even though you gotta make sure to pick them up because it will be left behind. You don't automatically pick it back up because one time I tried to throw it out. I realized I left it across the whole goddamn map, so I had to run back and get my damn thing. But it's not that the maps are huge, so. But yeah, and just trying to find the ghosts, playing a hide and seek kind of game. I mean, it's fun. I mean, I really enjoy it. There's something there to that. Like, it's not. It can be polished a lot more with this game. But I mean, if they added would be great if there was more to it. Like, if there was more to this game. Like, I don't know how much it costs now, but if there was at least a single player mode or some type of story with it, I would say definitely be worth a get. But just being kind of a multiplayer-ish game, it's darn. I kind of wish you went the free to play model way because I don't really. And I'm not into all that. I'm not into even the stuff you unlock, the cosmetic stuff. I'm not into because I'm like the original Ghostbusters stuff. So when they say, "Oh, classic," say, "Well, I'm good." And I was like, I'm I'm definitely good with this. Like what I got. Like I don't need all that stuff. But I know like the kids do. Yeah, I feel you. But that's why I wish it was either this was free to play or you had more to this game. Like it was another single player Ghostbusters game or something. Still waiting for the Oculus one that they announced some time ago. All right, we got Minecraft Legends. That game just came out, and now I played very little of it. So it is a strategy game. It seems pretty simple, like to really get into. It seems like something I will like maybe some years ago. I will be more inclined to put more time into it because I do kind of like these games where you kind of like have these minions, you build things, you build your defense systems up, stuff like that. You know, a mixture of a StarCraft or something with the action game, or like how Brutal Legends was sort of with the way they did things. But I'm just not in this space right now, and to play this, to really get into this game. Like I want to, maybe I will, but I just have a feeling I won't. But because there's something there to it, probably. Now I don't know if maybe it gets to a point where you hit a wall and it's like it's not much more after this. I have no idea. So I only played the tutorial to really get down packed to know what to do. Now I see from the reviews, I think I see a lot of 7s or stuff like that with it. So it's a good game. It's decent, and I guess if you have Game Pass, hey man, it's free, so you can just play it. So yeah, if you get into that, I mean, if you like Minecraft, definitely give it a try. And if you like some strategy games, just give it a try and see if you do like it. It's really simplified, you know, because it's for the kids. It's for the kids. But it's like, but it's probably more. I mean, it's probably something you can really be like, very creative with because of the Minecraft aspect of it. Because I really got to that point where I can just do my kind of own thing. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's all right. I played it through the cloud, so I just played through that. I didn't, so I don't know how it runs on just the regular Xbox. Not sure. But yeah. Also, oh god, this was a show I watched. I put it under games I've been playing. So that's all the games I played. But this is a show I watched. I forgot to announce. Fired on Mars, which it's a game. Somebody said it's like Office Space on. Why didn't cut? Okay, it's like Office Space in. I said yeah, Office Space in space. I guess. Okay. like the movie Office Space, but yeah, but it's just it stars this guy. I think Luke Wilson talks for him, and he's a pretty much sad individual. He just got sort of fired, but it says his job is on hold. He's kind of frustrated with things are going, like things. He's trying to find his purpose in the company, and people just don't respect him. But he's still really trying to get a good idea. I mean, he's trying to keep a positive attitude, but it gets hard. But it seems like maybe this is what happened in each episode. Like something drastic happens because the first time episode, spoiler, like he accidentally busted like the window or the glass pane between Mars and their inside their I guess building or whatever. Like he was about to go outside of Mars, like but then he decided he was just gonna turn back. But the glass started breaking and he kind of busted through it, and then that's how it ended. And then he wakes up after people had already helped him. And then something else drastic happened at the end of this episode. That's episode 2. It's only been 2 episodes as of this podcast. So it's like, oh, I guess it's something big because now, like, something's really going to change big. Because it seemed like things were going pretty good, but something's going to change big. I wonder what's going to happen now. It seemed like shit always hits the fan. It seems like shit hits the fan at the end. That's what it seems like it happens in each episode. And then I get you see what's the fallout is on the next one. But yeah, I mean, it's all right. Though I get a little frustrated because I'm like, okay, this guy's living a sad life. Like, this is what we're going to have to go with. Like, because it's not like if you ever seen The Life of Times of Tim, like, oh, bad things keep happening to this guy. But it's in a kind of funny way, you know, the way Tim does it. Like, where I don't feel really bad for Tim, you know, I'm not happy, but it's like, it's in a funny way. It's like, oh, But because the next episode he still has his job, he still has stuff, and he's okay. But this one is like, is this dude like, when is this dude? Is it gonna be one of those things where it's like, oh man, shit's gonna keep happen to him, and he's just gonna be oblivious to, and until is he gonna go suicidal or something at some point? Well, what's gonna happen here? But yeah, so the animation, like I told you, it looks like King of the Hill. Like some people, whoever drew King of the Hill, looks like they drew this because it looks just like it. Looked like, yeah. So I'm curious, but I didn't see. Now Mike Judge, he was like the director, but I don't think he's not the artist, right? Is he the guy who drew that stuff too? I don't know.
No.
But I know he's a writer. So I don't know. I didn't look to see. I didn't see his name in this. Put it like that.
Oh, okay, so he's not. Possibly.
I didn't look. I didn't really look for it either. I mean, I looked.
Yeah.
But put it like this: when I put the title in, you would think it would just show up.
Exactly.
So I just didn't see it. So I don't know if he still has something to do with it or not. I don't know if he has something to do with the new Beavis and Butthead. Does he have something to do with that? Because that's happening right now. Another season of that, I believe.
Oh, really? I thought I remembered something about like when that first came back, but is this a new thing or is this?
Yeah, no, it's season 2. It's season 2 on Paramount Plus. Apparently, how do I Mike Judge? Yeah, it's Mike Judge is with that. So I this can't be his then. If it's happened at the same time on another platform.
Yeah, you would think not.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it looks very similar to King of the Hill, at least in that much. So
you've heard about like this King of the Hill reboot that they're doing, right?
No.
Yeah, I can't remember where. Maybe Hulu. Let me see here. King of the Hill reboot. Yeah, is officially in the works at Hulu, and the creators will make a few key changes to the familiar classic animated series before. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so Hulu is working on a reboot of that. What do you think?
And
about
there was
that,
a Fire to Mars in 2016. But it's like a short. It was with a bunch of shorts.
Oh, okay.
And it was done by who was the directors with Nate Sherman, Nick Volke, cast Sean Wing. I don't know who the hell that is. But yeah, Darren, I guess so. This is like a reboot of that. But what I think about the King of the Hill? You said,
yeah.
I don't. If it's the people behind it, like if it's like what King of the Hill was, I'm fine because I was sad when it ended.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been on for 13 years, so I was like, yeah. But I'm just saying, compared to what like Simpsons, where I was falling off, King of the Hill was still funny to me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see up here. Like, is there anything like? Okay, this is the writers. Nate Sherman. What has Nate Sherman worked on?
I don't know. Their name sounds familiar for some reason.
He's worked on Bridesmaids. Okay. This is 40. Oh, so he worked with Judge Apatow and stuff.
Yeah.
What else has he written? Directed? Okay, nothing. King of the Hill is. Man, I just want to know the animator. I was like, man, who drew this? Is like, this is you, or before I can get the guy from King of the Hill. Say, hey,
over in China.
He's stealing it. Say, y'all stole this. Yeah, I don't see where I look for that. I ain't gonna worry about it now. All right, so I guess that's it. We'll take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get to the flashback segment.
All right.
And we're back. And now we're flashbacking to 2013. This is the end of April. We're going through the last 3 days of April because by the time we start next podcast, it'll be basically May. It'll be close to May, so we do the covers next week. So we're starting with 2013. We got Surgeon Simulator 2013, which that's what it was called. It was called 2013. There was one before this?
No, I think it was just called Surgeon Simulator, but
I guess they just
came out in 2013,
the year. I guess,
so maybe they're trying to differentiate it from like the VR one or something.
Yeah. Well, this is like the original one. This is when it came out. I didn't really hear about it until they had like maybe their first DLC, whatever they got, Team Fortress TLC. That's what I first heard about because I was like, because I always thought this was like a Team Fortress mod. I always thought it was a mod, and you played as the doctor from Team Fortress, and you was just sawing up your buddies. And so you were doing surgery. But I always heard some good things about this game, but I just never played it. Have you ever played it?
I think I've played a very small amount of it. I probably watched more of it than I've played it, but it always looked like a lot of fun. And, we talked about before we started recording, like a VR version of this, but honestly, like part of the magic feels like it wouldn't be there if you're doing it in VR because they would just be using your hands. And I feel like a lot of the wackiness to it is you trying to control these pair of hands with a mouse and a keyboard. Because that's what it ends up being is like you trying to grab a hammer to, break a chest piece off or something like that. And it's just like you can't swing it right. So like you're destroying their teeth or something like that. You broke their arm or something like that. It's because it's so cartoony, like the real like mauling of these people doesn't look so bad.
And I think today real surgeons use this to help with surgery, so that's good.
I sure hope so. I hope they all train in medical school using Surgeon Simulator or Surgeon Simulator 2.
All right. What else we got here? Let me get back to this page. We got Dead Island Riptide. Now we got Dead Island 2 that just came out. 10 years ago, Dead Island Riptide. So it's like, 10 years apart since the last Dead Island. So we had releases. So this was the latest release on Dead Island. And me and my friend did get this. I mean, we had fun. And it continued the story. It finished the story of that particular game. Don't ask me what it was because I totally forgot. Now I have to play all through again, which I probably won't. But my friend did because I think he did buy... I don't know if he bought Riptide enhanced version, but I know he did buy the other one, the other version, Dead Island enhanced for the newer consoles. I'm trying to remember. I don't even know whether there was a difference. There probably was, but I'm trying to see it. I know the reviews weren't particularly great. It got 60s, it got 57 on Meta. On 360, but the thing is, I enjoyed the game. Like playing with my friend, it was fun. But it probably wasn't. I think one of the review why it wasn't really well received because it probably wasn't that much difference between that and the other game. Plus, we got this game for cheap. We didn't buy it when it first came out. Yeah, we got it it was definitely on sale. So I'm trying to see what else does it do here. It said it got mixed reviews. Let's see what the review says. Greg Miller stated that although he found it to be a great gory fun, it still contained bugs and glitches found in the first game. He also stated that it was tempting to simply paste the original Dead Island review on the page and call it a day. He praised the gameplay, co-op, and the ability to import your save from the original, knowing that the enemies you face are at scale with your level. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, you could just do that. So that the game gives you an appropriate challenge, but criticize the storyline and overall look of the game. So I guess it's because it's too much of the same game. I think that's probably what came down to it. Though Game Informer gave this an 8 out of 10. I wonder what they gave their first Dead Island then. Well, I can see that. Let's go see that now. And they don't have Game Informer on this one. Damn. But they have a 71 Metacritic on 360, 71 on PS3, and an 80 on PC, the first one. So it's probably because they didn't do no changes. Basically, it was just more of the same.
Yeah.
All right. So what else we have here? This is one you. Well, no, I'll skip that one. I'll go to that one later. Dragon's Dogma: Dark Horizon was released. This was, I think, Dragon's Dogma, like a more enhanced version of Dragon's Dogma.
So.
And it added more dragon scales. That's was the enhancements. I honestly do not know what did it add.
It didn't add anything. They were just like, yo, people are starting to like Souls games now. We made one of those. Let's re-release this.
So the Dark Horizon version was praised for the technical improvements and additional content. The original Dragon's Dogmas sold over 1 million copies, and the different versions of Dark Horizon have met with positive sales. The game has since sold over 7 million copies. Okay, that's good. Gameplay wise, it's an open world game, blah 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 blah. That's just like one of the main innovations is the pawn system. While the player's party is exploring the world, the 3 party members who accompany the main character are controlled by artificial intelligence, but the player can issue orders to them, including go and help and come. All right.
Come.
One of the party members is a non-playable character and belongs to the main character's world, while the other 2 party members are NPCs borrowed from other players by connecting online or locally generated by the game. The party members, referred to as pawns, can talk, seek the main character's help, and provide information about enemies. The player must work on strengthening the main character as the party members. The pawns are vocal, yelling out useful hints and strategies, which are often vitally important in surviving tough boss encounters and dungeons. The pawn system also features social networking features. Okay. All right. You know what, man? This is a game I keep saying, because I was so excited for this game, and I never did play it. And then I guess when I found out it was like pretty hard, I just stayed away from it.
Yeah.
But you know what? I got a PC, so I can just put the cheats on it. So I just give this a try. Let's just say, hey, I tried it.
Yeah.
And there you go. One day. Maybe never. All right. So
you'll play 2 before you play this one.
All right. Oh, yes. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, the standalone Far Cry game, was released. And I only played very, very little of it. That I can't really say much on this game. So you played more than I did, I believe. So
maybe.
How's this game? No, I didn't get far, man. I mean, honestly, I didn't get far. I mean, I didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
I don't think I
probably
spent
played
a lot
like
of
10
time
minutes
with
of the
it
game.
either. But basically, they took the Far Cry 3 and then added this like neo technology element to it. It's like this future new wave type thing. Aesthetically, it looked cool. It added a kind of different vibe to Far Cry, which to that point had just been the islands kind of stuff before they even ventured out into the rest of the stuff that we've seen since then, the mountains and the kind of Midwestern stuff. Yeah, I remember there being, some, like, it's a smaller package type thing. It's not a full game. I remember opinions on it being pretty positive, coming off 3. And they also did that Far Cry Blood Dragon Trials game. I think I actually played more of that than I played this, to be honest with you.
Did they call it Far Cry 2? Or they just call it Trials Blood Dragon?
I think it was just Trials Blood Dragon, maybe. That's a good question.
Yeah, because it seemed like they were just going for that 80s type of cyber stuff.
But they did have weapons in there.
Oh.
So you were like shooting stuff. Yeah, Trials of the Blood Dragon. Nothing Far Cry. But it was a crossover between the two, apparently.
All right. So I didn't realize you were done. I thought you were going to say something.
Sorry.
Okay. So last but not least for 2013, I believe so. I don't see anything else. Yep. All right. So then last for 2013 is Don't Starve. So you tell me about this game because you definitely played it.
So basically, Don't Starve is a survival game. It's got this very like cartoony art style, but in a very like what is his name? Tim Burton. Yeah, like a very Tim Burton-esque art style. Everything's cutesy, but also a little crooked. And it's set with this like isometric view. You're this little guy. You eventually get different characters, but you start out with this little guy, and you're just kind of going around this world looking for resources to basically survive the night, because every night comes along, and that's when like creatures really start attacking you. I always liked the look of it. It's also made by Clay, who are the developers behind like Shank, who also did a very, cartoony but violent
that's right,
kind of game. And yeah, like I always liked the look of it, but the few times I had tried it, it was very like I'm not doing well in this game. It wasn't until I played it with somebody else where it was like, oh, this makes it a little bit easier. Like we can kind of go in our own directions to get resources and then come back when it's time for, the monsters to attack. And then we actually have kind of enough resources. Yeah, even with that, it's still not a game. Like, me and multiplayer games just aren't, something I gel with too much, because trying to match my schedule up with somebody else's schedule to actually find the time to play those games or make the time to play those games never really works out. But the thing that gets me about this game is like how big it seemed to have gotten, because it didn't seem like a game that had much talk going around. And then just like a couple of years after it came out, it felt like it really blew up. And even to this day, it feels like that's a game I would not be surprised if I just popped on Twitch and people were like, oh yeah, I'm playing Don't Starve, It's one of those kinds of games. So it's really cool.
All right, cool. Yeah. All right. So 10 years. So now we're going back 20 years to 2003. And what do we have here? We only got really one game worth mentioning. I'll mention this just because Final Fantasy XI got their expansion, Rise of the Zillart. And actually, Final Fantasy XI, you know what? The servers might still be open in that game, right? I don't think they close. Maybe on PS2 it closed, but I think Windows is still open, even though 14, is a big one. Only much we talk about 20 years ago this week. But here we go. We got Ninja 5.0 came out for the Game Boy Advance. So tell me about this game.
Yeah, so Ninja 5.0 for the Game Boy Advance was very much a kind of Bionic Commando-esque game. You were a ninja, kind of playing in the modern era, and you're basically trying to save, I don't know if it was like the president's daughter or something crazy like that, or if you're just trying to take down some crime organization. Oh, but it's basically...
So you're Leon.
Yes, you're Leon. You're going to Spanish villages, killing all sorts of zombie things. So it's basically a side-scrolling platform action style game, like Bionic Commando, where he's got like the arm where he stretches out and grabs the ceiling. You would have like this ninja hook kind of thing that you could shoot into the ceiling and then swing around on. I don't remember why I ended up playing this back in the day. It might have just been because I played it on the emulator, and at that point I was just kind of downloading like everything that didn't have Barbie or did have Barbie in the title, just because I could. Dominic, that's why you shouldn't give me power, Dominic, because like take advantage of it. You let me play Game Boy Advance or you let me play a modern console, which the Game Boy Advance was at the time, on my PC for free, and I'm just going to play everything. But this one definitely hooked me. I think I beat the game, or at least I played a substantial amount of it. It's one that now that I'm reminded of it, I would really like to revisit, because the action was solid, and I just remember it being pretty freaking cool for a Game Boy Advance game. Yeah. So that's kind of it.
Okay, cool. All right. And I guess that's it. So I guess we take a quick break. When we get back, we get to the gaming news.
All right.
And we're back. So let's get to the gaming news. What we got, Dan?
All right, Dominic. So there's not a ton of stuff this week, and the The Nintendo World Indie World Showcase that they had this week wasn't particularly mind-blowing. It didn't have any like one last thing, big announcement or anything. So I'm actually going to kick off the news with that, kind of run down some of the bigger names that came out of this. Rift of the Necrodancer, the kind of follow-up to Crypt of the Necrodancer and the Hyrule one that they did for the Switch. That has been announced for this year. That is going to be more of like a Guitar Hero thing with the note highway, where you have like the musical notes coming down and you press a corresponding button. That looks interesting. I was not very good at the Hyrule one, so this could be more intriguing for me, depending on what other aspects of the gameplay they do with it. But that's neat. I'm glad to see that team is working on something else.
Yeah.
They showed off Little to the Left, Cupboards and Drawers DLC. Little to the Left is the game basically where you're just kind of going around different areas organizing stuff. It was kind of unpacking, but it was more like, okay, I'm just going to relax and do this thing. And from time to time, a little kitty paw will come in and fuck my shit up. So this DLC is coming in June of this year. We had some Cult of the Lamb news, Relics of the Old Faith. This is a new update that's going to add some buildings and some additional story stuff. So people looking for more Cult of the Lamb can check that out.
When's that coming out? It's out now?
I don't know if they had a date on that. Let me see. Cult of the Lamb. Let's see. It looks like it is going to be available on April 24th. So just in a couple of days from now.
Days, yeah.
So that's coming out. We also had the announcement of Blasphemous 2. Blasphemous people may be familiar with as the like Soulsborne Metroidvania 2D action game. Previously out on the Switch and PC and I'm sure many other things. That game looks cool. I mean, Souls stuff, I don't know, but like in a 2D environment, like I like Hollow Knight a lot, and people talked about how that was kind of a Soulsborne because those battles could be very difficult. So Blasphemous always looked pretty cool. I think there's a demo for the first one up on the Switch.
I was about to say, Blasphemous, didn't you play that?
Yeah, maybe I did play the demo or something.
I remember seeing it. Yeah.
And then kind of the one thing they did have Oxenfree 2, The Lost Signals, that did get a release date that's coming out July 12th on the Switch and the PS4.
I need to play that first one again and like do something different than I did because it's different endings and I probably do a different ending just by accident because I don't remember what the ending I did.
I think that game is also, because the studio is owned by Netflix now, I think that is also going to be available like through your Netflix subscription as like a mobile game probably. I wish they would like connect that to your PC so you could do like
I know exactly
PC.
At least the PC, man.
Yeah, because I mean, shoot, you have an Xbox app, you have a PlayStation app. You should also just be able to be like, oh, okay, I'm going to sign in, and then this game appears as free because I have a Netflix subscription. Trust me, Netflix has gotten plenty of my money and not enough of my use to justify giving me like a $30 game. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I assure you of that. So, yeah, that was kind of the Indie World Showcase. Like I said, there wasn't like big names announced or anything. I know some people were joking about Silk Song, being like shadow dropped here. But with that game being, in that Xbox showcase the last time, it almost feels like we'll see more from them before we see anything related to Nintendo. Although they did announce that as part of that showcase that was like, hey, within the next 6 months or whatever, you're going to see all these games. And obviously we're not seeing Starfield until the end of this year, but it would be cool to see that game sooner rather than later, even though I still need to beat Hollow Knight if that's a thing that I feel like I need to do before moving on to the next game. All right, Dominic. So the next up news is Sony has acquired another studio, this time Firewalk Studios, to work on an original AAA multiplayer game. This is a studio founded by some former Bungie guys. And yeah, I mean, this is Sony again trying to make a play for like the live services area. You know, they own Bungie now. They've got Destiny. They obviously haven't made it exclusive yet. You know, maybe they will eventually, especially if this Microsoft deal goes through and they get, you know, upset about that. Who knows? When Destiny 3 comes out, maybe. But yeah, I don't think Firewalk has released anything yet, so I can't say like, oh man, this is what this team has been working on. You know, they make awesome games.
Yeah.
I'm excited, but you know, these guys do have some pedigree being from Bungie, you know. So Sony's just looking to build out their roster.
Yeah, so they got they have Bungie, and then they got people who are formerly from Bungie.
Yeah,
that's so weird.
Bringing you guys back together, make a hit for us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I'm curious. Yeah, they can. Yeah, I'm curious what they put out for them. Because, like I said, I mean, before PlayStation always says like the game, like their first party games are mostly single player. I mean, they got some multiplayer with like the Last of Us and the Uncharted stuff, but it's not really much there. But nothing huge.
It's never been the selling point.
Yeah, exactly. It's never the selling point. They talk about how good it is, but it's never where I hear this people like it's, oh, I'm getting this because of this. Like it's always some hardcore people talk about it, and that's fine. Yeah, I want to see. I want to see what these guys can do, what they can put out. Because Bungie looks like, I mean, they're just going to be working on Destiny until I don't know when.
Until the end of time. Or until Sony kills it like Microsoft has killed Halo somehow. All right, Dominic, next up, an additional purchase here. You had Atari buy the rights to, it sounds like 100+ properties, but the big one that's kind of being touted, I don't know if it's being touted by Atari necessarily, but kind of the one that the internet has glommed onto is Bubsy, because as we all know, people love Bubsy, Dominic.
I did love Bubsy. It's like I never loved him, but he was all right in my book. I didn't know he was hated until like a lot later in my life. I hear people talk about him, but I mean, I just want to know what these other titles are. Then, like, is Bubsy the biggest one, or is this the one they talk? Because I'm like, where are these other titles? Are they not worth even speaking? They're that low,
maybe
on the total. Good God.
I don't know, Dominic. I think Bubsy should get another shot. He needs redemption. You know, because I don't think that Super Nintendo game probably wasn't that bad. I think it gets a lot of the hate that it does because of like Bubsy 3D, which is, you know, seemingly, you know, not objectively a very bad game. Yeah.
Which I never played that one.
Yeah. Then you should probably keep it that way, it sounds like. So, you know, give Bubsy a shot. That's all I'm saying. All right, Dominic. And in other sale news, you know, all these companies are closing out sales. Meanwhile, Microsoft's still just struggling to get across the finish line. Sega has purchased Rovio. I don't know why I just blanked on that name. I'm looking at it. Rovio, who is the company, the developers behind Angry Birds and several other mobile games, but, you know, most prominently Angry Birds. This came as news to me mostly because I didn't think Sega was in the position to be purchasing anyone. I always assumed that it would be Sega being purchased by someone. But here we are, Dominic.
Man, yeah, exactly. So them getting Angry Birds guys, I'm under are the Angry Birds guys even doing anything? Or they just making the money off the games they have, which is probably good enough for them. I mean, maybe that's why they were okay to sell it. It was like, we ain't doing nothing else. I mean, we got all this money. Say, why not? And we'll just take more money. We just take the money, you buy this, y'all can have it. Kind of like the Minecraft thing.
So from what I have heard, Rovio has struggled a little bit with like getting the successor to Angry Birds. They haven't really been able to come up with the properties to sell people on things.
Okay.
So like this could be a good partnership for them. You know, they could make Angry Sonic or whatever, you know, and just be shooting Sonic and his friends off at angry.
I mean, Sonic and a ball, you could just, you could just shoot him like you're shooting Sonic. Yeah.
Exactly.
The spin ball, you shoot them all. But does it have to be Angry Birds? Maybe
no,
they can't do anything else.
They could also make a rip-off Bejeweled like it seems like they did, or a ripped-off, what's that other game? Damn, I can't remember the name of that thing. Yeah, so
Candy Crush?
No,
Did it do a rip-off of Candy
it's
Crush?
the one where it's kind of Zuma, maybe?
Oh, Zuma. Okay.
Is that the one where there's like a line of beads into like a swirl in the center kind of thing?
I never played Zuma. Always just seeing it. It looked like an Aztec man, and
that's the one I'm thinking of. So
it's
like they made one
but that's
like
it
that
is.
too.
Yep.
So yeah, they've got this small town murders thing that looks like it could be a cute kind of
try out Zuma.
game.
Looks like it's fun.
But
I mean, I do
not.
like Peggle.
Oh, I hate these games, and this doesn't necessarily look like as bad as one of these ad games, but like where they're advertising a thing and you get a certain impression and then you see it and it's just a completely different type of game.
Oh yeah, just like the ones where they have the girls with the big boobs and then no big boobs,
and then they have no boobs at all.
Yes, I hate it, Daniel. I always hate it. I was joking. But no, that's what I always see all the time, especially on Twitter.
Yeah.
Because I always look at the comments. I always like, every time I see advertisement, if they have the comments, I always like looking at them because I see what are people saying about this. And then they say, a lot of people be talking about the game like, this game look nothing like this. I said, man, y'all actually tried. I said, y'all actually tried to look at it. It's like, I didn't even bother to click on it. You say nothing like this. And then like, oh, it's a real disturbing ad right now on Twitter.
Oh, boy.
It's like a muscle, I guess mixer or vitamins. I don't know what it is, but what they use is like how you want yourself toned. Like they got different tone animals though. Like you got a big buff lion and some type
I
of
saw like somebody
buff.
posting about that or something.
Yeah, and it's like, what the F is this? And it's like somebody said, is this furries? It's like this like furries to extreme or something like that. It's like this is what this supposed to do. I guess it's what a furry people like, make yourself look like a buff furry. Like, it's like, yeah, good God. I don't know. It was getting weird.
That's amazing.
All right, so that's all you've seen in the news?
Yeah, that's really about it that I've saw, like as far as big stuff. You know, we talked about the Street Fighter stuff. One thing I didn't mention about that game, though, is there is some voice acting in that game, but it doesn't seem like there's going to necessarily be a lot of voice acting in that single player stuff. It does that thing where it shows the words on screen and then they'll make like a sound like, huh.
Oh, man. Darn.
It was weird because like Luke is fully talking to me at the beginning and then we jump out to like this open world and it's like, huh. I'm like, man.
Then why even give us a voice then? I guess just to talk when we're in a fight? Like,
pretty much. It seemed like. So that was a little disappointing. I forgot to mention that, but I did want to bring that up. But yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me see this. Oh, you didn't get Advance Wars.
No, I'm seeing it again, and I feel like maybe I've been a little harsh on the way that game looks. But at the same time, I just don't know if I'm the same guy that wants to play that game anymore. Because like we've talked about, like I'm looking for very simple experiences. And like Wargroove came out and was very much like faithful to that old style of Advance Wars, even visually. And I played it for a little while, but then I fell off of it. So I feel like, you know, especially with Zelda right around the corner, I've still got to get back into Prime Remastered and finish that off. And, you know, playing Wind Waker also, like, I just don't know that it would be a smart money move to buy that game, you know.
I see an advertisement in this USFL game, like on the the bar they have where they show the score and stuff. It's like simply, like Simply Lemonade and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it says Simply Spiked. Is there a
Oh
Simply
my goodness!
alcohol?
Did they get into the business, Dominic? No. Simply Spiked. Let's see. Drink Simply Spiked. All these sons of bitches, Dominic. They're doing it.
Oh man!
Simply Spiked Lemonade and Simply Spiked Signature Peach.
Man, so they getting the. Is this going? So what's going to be better, Mike's Lemonade or this one?
I don't know. Am I just too old, Dominic? Do I need to get into the White Claws and the spiked seltzers or whatever?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, oh my goodness. All right, hold on. Like, I like Simply Lemonade. They also have Simply Lemonade with watermelon. They have a blueberry lemonade and a strawberry lemonade. This actually might sound really good, Dominic.
If it's not spiked, Daniel, I don't care.
If it's not,
but no, I had the blueberry one before. That it's good.
The spiked one or just blueberry lemonade?
No. I this is the first time I ever had spiked. I mean, I heard of spiked, so I ain't never heard of it.
The blueberry one too at some point.
And the watermelon one I might have had.
I don't remember it being watermelon, but I definitely feel like I got a Simply watermelon at some point.
Yeah,
and that was good. Yeah, and the Simply Spiked Peach, they have a mango, a strawberry, a kiwi, and probably something else that's hidden behind this thing. Gotta start drinking more liquor, Dominic. I guess. When
why is Maryland liquor? Don't bring back where we can let us vote on to have liquor in our Walmarts, man. Shit, man. They ain't trying to keep going to a liquor store, get something, man.
Exactly. I look like a pervert if I'm going in there buying Simply Peach. But if I just go in Walmart and I grab it, I'm like, oh yeah, it's for my wife and kids.
Going there, I'm like a drunk. I look like a drunk. I like to just look like a drunk going to Walmart like I usually do.
See, I'm the other way, Dominic. I feel like if I'm getting like Simply Spiked, they'll judge me if I go into a liquor store because I'm not buying gin.
Oh yeah, oh definitely,
or something like that.
I used to feel that in my like mid-20s. I used to go in just to get Smirnoffs.
Yeah,
and because I didn't care about getting the other thing, and I was like, sometimes I would say I'm getting it. Oh, it's for the girls at home.
Yeah,
they want to drink this. And I always feel like that when I'm with my family. My family is like, "Hey, we got you got a beer here." I said, nah, "Where's that Smirnoff at?" They say, "Where's that?" Like, well, where's the Mike's Lemonade or where's anything fruity?
See, I don't even know if I've ever had a Mike's Hard Lemonade. The closest thing to anything like that, like where it's like a drink mixed with like
Apple Orchard.
I don't think I've ever had one of those apple ciders.
You'll like
I've
it.
had like the root beer,
it's
which
good.
Depending on the brand is all right. But they're
root beer. I don't really like root beer. So.
Okay. Yeah. So that was the closest thing to like a beer-esque thing or a malt beverage.
Oh, but Apple Orchard is not a beer. Yeah, Apple Orchard and Mike's Hard Lemonade, they are nowhere near like a beer.
Yeah.
Like they're nowhere like nowhere.
Yeah.
So they like but beer.
I
just don't like taste beer.
Those didn't do much for me, but
I mean, like, Smirnoff, they taste like Sprite to me. They're like plain Smirnoff. I mean, plain Smirnoff, and you got different kinds. And then the other kinds. Some of them taste a little too sweet for me, and then some don't. I don't want too sweet, but I'm fine with something like that. Yeah. Like I'm good with something like I don't.
But I wonder what one of these kind of tastes like, because I feel like I was at a liquor store recently, and I was looking at the things outside, and they were talking about, I forget which one of the like spiked kind of what did I call them, tonics or whatever, not tonics, seltzers. One of the spiked seltzers was like, vodka. Like, is that what it's supposed to? Is that what the alcohol in one of these things is supposed to be? Because like vodka's all right.
Yeah, and people was doing a joke online about Mad Dog 2020 about how like you get tore up with. Damn, that was the drink I started out with, and I was like, "Oh, this thing supposed to get you fucked up." Well,
yeah.
It sort of does, but I never forgot.
Yeah.
What I did. I was always aware.
Means you didn't drink enough.
It probably was. If Daniel, maybe that's what it was.
I think part of that is because, like, one, there's so much sugar in it, and people always talk about how, like, the higher level of sugar in your alcoholic drink, like, the more of a headache and the worse it is for you. And then, like, because it's kind of a fruity thing, maybe you drink more of it because you're
that's true.
Expecting it to hit you.
But see, I think the person who told me about it told me, like, you will. I think he even told me just drink some of it, mix or like, just drink some of this. Is like I always drink half. Yeah. He said like, and even half. I mean, I felt what I felt in the field, and he said like, because it's sweet, but it will. Let me say, it is alcohol, man. He said like it is enough alcohol in here, and I think maybe that's why. Maybe I was coached very well on it. And see,
it sounds like it. Yeah.
See, with liquor. It was always like, if I take it home hard, I'm not drinking it for the taste or anything, because I never enjoy it. I was drinking it just to get fucked up. Yeah. I was like, I'm drinking this to be tipsy or for I can do things where I have like no shame. So that's the reason. Yeah. So now that I'm older, I don't want to do that. I was like, because I'm going to live now. I kind of care about the shame afterwards. And so I don't.
See, but that's why I just don't even drink then, because it's like, oh, I don't like the taste of these things. I was literally just drinking to get to that messed up state. So like,
but yeah, I mean,
if I don't want to get to that messed up state anymore, I guess I'm just not going to drink it.
I like the taste of some drinks though. Some drinks I do, like I say, the fruity ones. But I don't care about like rum and Coke and stuff like that. I'm not big on that. I'm not big on that anymore. Like I probably dealt with it. I only dealt with it because, like I said, it gave up. Now it's like I don't really like the taste. I just take the Coke.
Right.
Like give me Coke. Like that's what I'm at. I mean, hey. Listen, sugary soft drinks are bad for you, so that's just my vice. Like you may drink beer all the time, I drink soda all the time. Hey, we just get fucked up in different ways. I get fucked up where I have to like get new false teeth, and you get fucked up where you beat your wife. So it was just different. We're all just different.
Jeez. Yeah.
All right, so I guess we get to new releases.
All right,
we didn't do them. Yeah, we do these.
No, we didn't do new releases yet, even though we talked about a couple of these. Let's see, Minecraft Legends you talked about. That's out on PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series consoles. So that is
it's out on everything.
Yes.
You're not keeping it away from them, Daniel.
And it's a part of Game Pass, of course, so, the preferred method of playing. You also have Final Fantasy Pixel Remastered. That's now out on the Nintendo Switch and PS4 now.
It's been out already on PC and phones.
And now they have the updated font in there, so it doesn't look like absolute trash like people were complaining about.
Like on the phone? Like it was on the phone and they brought it to the PC?
Yeah, so it's got the actual like pixel-looking font instead of that just super clear, weird.
Even though I wasn't really mad with that though. Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with it happening, like them redoing it, or letting you choose what you want. Yeah. Which that's fine. Yeah, it does look weird, but I didn't. It wasn't like a hate thing. Like I was just the way the internet people were upset of it, and like the purity was gone, like they did with the films and stuff. Like people play about Star Wars films, say George Lucas ruined it. He ruined the purity. Yeah, I was. I mean, this is cool. I mean, it's on these things. It's like it took long enough, didn't it? I mean, good God. I mean, it's been on the PC for years now. That's why I was confused when I saw. I was like, oh, they added more games. That's what I was thinking. I was like, they must have added something that they didn't have before, because I'm like, this is old, and just on the PS4. Good God, that should have. That's very confusing.
I mean, that's always weird when I like. It's listed as PS4, but like obviously it's playable on the PS5.
Yeah, it's playable on PS5. Yeah.
Like what is the difference there? Is it like
it loads faster then?
I mean, maybe. So I will mention this again to jump back to Street Fighter. Like the load time was not impressive. Let me tell you what, because I pressed the button on that start menu and it took longer than I would have expected for it to boot to the main menu. I'm scared when I
try it on the Xbox. It'll take forever. I gotta play a game or something while I'm playing it.
Yeah, it was weird because like that was the whole selling point on these consoles early on was like, man, it's like instantaneous loading.
Yeah, I think they went away. Yeah, Daniel, because even with the Xbox, like playing the games through the cloud, and because it's playing with the Xbox Series X, so and plus you're doing it in cloud, it should be faster. Some game, I mean, I noticed the difference between like certain games. I mean, like Atomic, which we call Heart, compared to Atomic Heart on the console Xbox One to Xbox Series X. Yes, the load times are faster on Xbox Series X. It's not like they're super fast, but they are faster. They're faster enough that it's so noticeable. Like it'd be a while up there, so I'm like, yeah. But the way they talked about these things, I was just thinking like all games are gonna be like, man, we're getting right into the games now. Yeah, I guess it's really you just gotta make if you do it for it. If you set it up that way,
yeah, you gotta.
Or do you have to be first party? Or you gotta be? I don't know. Because I'm thinking like, so nobody starts like how the Little Big Planet thing supposed to start. The Little Bit being the what's his name, Sackboy.
Yeah,
how they showed it starting. Or Ratchet and Clank. Nobody.
Yeah, Spider-Man. I remember being one that they were like, look at the way this. But I don't know if it's just like my
Madden,
expectations
were
too
I can't
high
just start a damn game. Yeah, can't just start a damn game. Because even in baseball, it's a whole lot faster to get in games. Yes, it is. Than it is from a PS4 and an Xbox One. Like, it's noticeably faster to get in. And I like that. But I just almost feel like it could be smoother than this. Like, it could be better. It's like, almost feel like it should be better. Like I say, it should be, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was thinking something like what I saw when they showed it off. How fast those games were coming up. I was thinking like, damn, like any game that's like multi-platform, like that's on the old console, they'll just be zoop right in here.
Yep.
So fast.
Exactly.
Now I get it. If it's multiplayer, then yeah, because you got to load up. I mean, you know what? And that's probably what it is. Because they, even though I'm not playing online, they load up all these other shits online. Yeah, and yeah, that's probably why.
Maybe.
It's like that. Bullshit.
All right, Dominic. Shadows of Loathing is now out on the Switch, and Tesla Garage 2 is now out on PC, Nintendo
What is Shadows
Switch.
of Loathing?
Yeah, so Shadows of Loathing is kind of it's an RPG set in the world of West of Loathing, which is the game with the stick figure. You may be familiar with it. It's like a little stick figure guy with a cowboy hat on. It's black and white, like it's drawn on like textbook paper. They showed this off at the indie showcase. They also showed Tesla Garage 2 off at that same showcase, but that's out on basically everything. I remember Tesla Garage 1, but I don't know that I ever played it or spent a significant amount of time with it. I feel like I got it like free on Steam at some point or something. It might have been on Xbox for free as well. It seems like a kind of side-scrolling action platform puzzle solver type thing that you're using electricity to solve stuff.
Yeah, using Tesla, using a Tesla to do it. Yeah.
All right. Next up, Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. That is now out on the Nintendo Switch, as we discussed. Not played that yet. I am coming around on it a little more. Like, it really is still just kind of the style in the game. Because, like, the characters, they still have hand-drawn, and they animate a little bit, which is fun. I think that stuff looks good. But it's just like the units that you see in battle just look a little too generic for how much character that game originally had. And then we have Dead Island 2, Dominic. It's happened. It's finally happened. This game is released out on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series. And reviews have been pretty positive on this game. It basically sounds like, best case scenario for this game.
Exactly. I mean, it feels like, it's what it was and more improved in some specs. It looks good. Like, visually, when I was looking at the game on Twitch, somebody playing it, I was saying, like, visually it looks fine. Like, it looks like a good game. I mean, and I'm sure it's like some problems that happened with the first one. It's probably still there, but I feel like it seems like it's a game, like, if you did like Dead Island, you'll like Dead Island 2.
Yeah.
Like if you're into that, you'll like this one. Like it doesn't. I was kind of scared like it was gonna be either some bugs or stuff or something they added that just didn't work. And it seems like they went safe with it, and yeah, they finally came out. It just comes to be like, what was the freaking problem? Why couldn't they get it done? Because it seems like it doesn't seem like you didn't add something like to make it so tough. Like, what was it that did this? I
just
don't
wonder
know.
if it's
maybe it's some ideas.
Techland going away and
it could have been
team trying
definitely
basically trying to have to recreate what Techland had already done without maybe some of the resources. I don't know.
Why did Techland? Why did those guys go away from? They became Techland, right? That's what it was.
Is that what happened?
Or they weren't, or they left Tech. They left Techland. Yeah, they left Techland.
Yeah.
So
now, what's the Dying Light studio called? Dying Light. Okay, yeah, Dying Light is Techland. So I think it was just Techland left the publisher that owns the rights to Dead Island, because they were like, whatever, this deal isn't fair, whatever, business kind of thing. Or they got dropped from the project? I can't remember now because there was that in-between studio too.
Oh, shit. I didn't realize they just went private. Like, they're with nobody. They're just them.
Oh, that's good for them, I guess. Yeah. So, yeah, because, wow, they've been published by everybody because they got Square Enix published their games, Warner Brothers published their games. Of course, they publish their own games. So, yeah. But Dead Island, I think that's pretty cool that turned out to actually be a pretty fun game by most, most standards. It sounds like. I'm glad that game did not end up being like a Duke Nukem Forever, where it's like, oh, we're waiting for this game to come out forever, and oh, here it's finally going to release, and oh yeah, it's trash just like we expected. No, this is actually a good game. It's always good when good games release, Dominic. I know that's a hot take, but
yes, it's a very hot take.
People work on these games, and it's good to see that their work was not wasted.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, those are our new releases, Dominic. You got anything else for the people this week?
Nah, I'm good.
All right, thank you guys as always for listening. You could check us out on Twitter. Dominic's at DStallworth5. I'm at Regulus MB. The podcast is at Supapod, SUPAPOD. Supapod.com is the website. You can check us out there. It has all of our podcasts, as well as links to all the places you can find us, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast, as well as iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and any other place you may find an audio podcast. And until next time, guys, we'll talk to you later.
All right, see you.